But today, we want to get started maybe with the recent events that took place with the stabbing of Salman Rushdie. Now, as a leader of an organization, Fahad, and as a Muslim, of course, do you condemn this action that was being inspired by the fatwas of whatever it was, 79, whatever the hell it was, 1989 fatwa of Khomeini? Do you condemn that?
Our stance on this matter is clear, and it's always been clear that we are not encouraging violence. We do not encourage anyone to act in this way. We believe that every Muslim should abide by the laws and do whatever they can according to the hadith of the Prophet. If you see a munkar, you change it with your hand, and if you can't, then you change it with your mouth. So obviously, our role here as Muslims in the West would be to change or speak out against these vile insults that this individual has come with against the Prophet and against the wives of the Prophet.
I think it's right to mention that, first of all, I think there's a lot of kind of cutting and pasting going on. There's a lot of going into history and classical books of jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence, where certain fatwas have been given maybe 1,000 years ago about the blasphemy laws and so on, which, by the way, are a matter of difference of opinion. This is something which Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani mentions quite clearly in Sharh of Bukhari, Fath al-Bari. There's a very famous hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where in Bukhari it's mentioned that he's walking with his wife, and some Jews came to him, hostile individuals they were, who said to him, "Assalamu alaikum," death be upon you. And he responded, and then Aisha responded, his wife responded in a very elaborative way, and then he stopped at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, just say wa alaikum, just say and upon you. And then he went into a discussion about it, an ethical discussion. He said that ما كان الرفق في شيء إلا زانه وما نزع الرفق من شيء إلا شانه. That there was not goodness in anything that was removed. Of course, that would that if it was in it, if kindness and gentleness was in that thing, that it would beautify, and if it was removed from it would make it ugly. And a very similar hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, where some individuals from Quraysh, the pagan Arabs at the time, were attacking the Prophet, calling him mudhammam, calling him the dispraised one, and he responded by saying that يسبون مذمما وأنا محمد, that they are attacking this individual called mudhammam, the dispraised one, and I'm Muhammad, I'm the praised one. So in other words, there is some legitimacy in saying that when the Prophet, the way he would deal with insults wasn't a narcissistic control way. It was a very controlled and strategic manner, where if it had an impact on the polity and the particular situation at the time, then a harsh action would be taken. Yes, but if it didn't, a harsh action would not be taken. He wasn't faced. He hand waved this whole situation off. But of course, some will say, well, there are classical opinions. Ibn Taymiyyah wrote a whole book called Asan Maslum ala Shatim al-Rasul, that the unsheathed sword on the one who insults the Prophet and so on. And so many people in different schools of thought have spoken about the capital punishment for those who attack the Prophet and insult him. But this is taking something which is abstract, the abstract hukm, and trying to apply it on today. So the real truth is that Ibn Taymiyyah himself, the same person who wrote this book, as well as the scholars of today, don't just look at ahkam or rulings in abstraction in this manner. What they do is they look at the ruling in conjunction with the reality around them. And that's why you'll find that in relation to this matter of blaspheming the Prophet in Western lands like ours, and where there's laws in place and so on, the major centers of Islamic power have maintained that actually there's a great mafsada or detriment, a communal detriment into, like you said, trying to challenge the law in this vigilante way. And so we would say that when they ask us about the condemnation of this kind of thing, of individual doing this kind of things, we do so on the basis of Sharia consequentialism, quite frankly, Sharia consequentialism. That is to say, the cost-benefit analysis. And that's a fine ethical standard, actually one that the whole of philosophical liberalism is based on, unless, of course, we're looking at Immanuel Kant's type of social liberalism. But the point is, therefore, it can be condemnable on the basis of breach of the peace, on the basis of mafsada, detriment, on the basis of this is something which is a barrier to entering the Dawah, on the basis that this is something which threatens Muslims. It can be condemned on all those bases, and we do condemn it, and that's not our strategy, it's not our way in dealing with individuals that insult the Prophet.
The very purpose of Salman Rushdie writing his book is to diminish the religion of Islam, diminish the truthfulness of the prophethood of the Prophet. And now his book has become a bestseller. It's an Amazon bestseller. So his lies about the Prophet, his insults to the Prophet's wives are now just being spread when someone does these kinds of acts, this taking the law in their own hands. It actually goes against the very purpose of making the religion of Islam prevail and giving dawah to do these kinds of acts. So that's why I say that we need to think wisely how we respond to people like this, how we respond to people insulting the deen of Allah or burning the Quran or insulting the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why if we look at this guy in Norway who's burning the Quran, has been doing that for so many times. Now, we used this individual as a useful idiot for the cause of Islam. To be honest, alhamdulillah, bro, we have been able, so we, as you know, bro, and as you also said in the beginning, that we're building this masjid and we are raising funds to establish the first of its kind masjid and dawah center in the whole country of Norway. And through this guy, we have raised over $500,000 for building this masjid. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So if we use this...
So this individual, this is a strategic approach which advances the Islamic cause. Exactly. We've used this individual who's been trying to attack the Muslim community, and in a project where we're trying to build a mosque, which will be the biggest, and a dawah center, which will be the biggest in its kind in the whole of Scandinavia, he's helped us raise $500,000, is it?
Yeah, Allahu Akbar. So that's
amazing, isn't it? Maybe Salman Rushdie can help us raise some more.
Exactly, bro.
Tell us a little bit about this project, just because some people watching this may not know about what project this is, in just a nutshell, before we look at the interactions you've had with this individual.
All right. So we are establishing a one-of-its-kind masjid and community center, a dawah center in the whole country of Norway. It will, inshallah, have a playground for kids to nurture love for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will have like a gym where people can come and work out. It will have dawah facilities. It will have classrooms, an educational institution that would be teaching the community about the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something which is absolutely unheard of in the country of Norway. We don't have any single Islamic community center or dawah center with these kinds of facilities.
We don't even have like Islamic schools in Norway, do we?
That's true. We don't have a single single Islamic school in the whole country. So
Yes.
we need to establish these kinds of institutions in the country of Norway, and we are starting off with this. We've called it Iman Activity Center. So it will be a center that would build the Iman of our children.
And the link for this project is in the description box and the comment section below, correct?
Exactly, it will be there, inshallah.
They'll click it and it'll be a quick one, isn't it? It will take 2 seconds, maybe 10 seconds for them to put the payment through.
Exactly, it will take just a few seconds. And the ajr, that's really what we should be talking about.
That's
So
why Muslims are always on the back foot. This is a way we can actually start being on the front foot, correct?
100%, bro. So we need to use these kinds of individuals just for promoting the Islamic cause, because that will ban them up. So,
Yes.
so
They're going to get burned up as well in the hellfire. I mean, let's be honest about it. But talking about the hellfire and people are going to burn up they're in, let's look at some of the reactions. Let's react to some of your videos that you've had with this individual. Let's look at the vile nature of this human being.
Okay, let me show you this one video where when he comes to our property and he's there to burn the Quran, and we confront him, and then he starts to swear at the Prophet ﷺ. Now, obviously, I could have done what this guy did and just go crazy and attack him. If I had done that, and it would have damaged the cause of Islam. So instead of doing that, I just responded to his insults and then used this guy to raise money to benefit the deen of Allah.
Let's take a look at the video, please.
Yeah.
Den ignorante tullingen kjører videre. Vi har flere koraner å brenne.
Det er du som er pedofil, sannsynligvis.
Det var profeten din.
Du
har jo lest Siren, altså. Du vet jo
Det er ingen som er større pedofile svin her enn dere.
Han er det du brenner deg på syndene. Hvordan kan du kalle pedofile svin? Altså, profeten din var jo svin.
Nei, han var jo pedofil. Det er du som er svin. Største svinet som fins. Rasistisk svin. Rasistisk svin. Det er realiteten.
Islam, han er
Well, I mean, there you have it. I mean, so you didn't pull out a knife and start stabbing the man, did you?
No, exactly. That's not our way. But at the same time, we can't just stand and accept that he's insulting the Prophet ﷺ and saying these vile, disgusting things about the
The thing is, I mean, as you've correctly said, it just won't serve the cause as well.
Yeah.
It just won't serve the cause as well. As simple as that. And this is a great example of an individual I think your strategy has been impeccable. I think you've used these individuals to the service of Islam. As you've mentioned, this individual has helped us raise $500,000. I mean, stabbing him or hurting him or annihilating him or doing whatever you want to do won't be as useful, will it?
Honestly, it would just make him a hero. Look at Rushdie. So they made him into this icon of freedom of speech.
Yes.
And in reality, he's just a filthy man. But they made him an icon of freedom of speech. Why should we give him that honor, that status? Rather, we should use him to serve the deen of Allah. So let's just make the final appeal here. Brothers and sisters, everyone who's watching,
Yes, please.
let's take action right now. Whenever these guys are honored and venerated for their vile, disgusting insults against the Prophet ﷺ, we should respond by giving dawah and supporting dawah and establishing the Islamic institutions. Whenever any one of you donates for this noble cause, you will be sharing in the reward of responding back to these insults against the Prophet ﷺ, against the burning of the Quran. You would actually be defending the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing this. Don't you agree?
I agree, and I like the fact that we're using them not just now by spreading awareness of what the religion of Islam actually is, because a lot of people that they hear these things about Muslims and Islam, they don't even know what Islam is, they don't even know the basic tenets. But that now we're using them for our own purposes as a Muslim community, so we can raise funds for our future generations. I think it's a fantastic strategy, and that's why I'm for it. Do not forget to give that kind of charity to propel our cause forward and to make the Muslims and the word of Islam uppermost by clicking the link below. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.